Now today we are off to Kiltonga, which I know as the duck pond in Newtownards. It's about a 30-40 minute drive from where I am, but that's where I grew up and it's got lots of lovely memories. Somebody suggested it, so I thought I would go and we're going to draw there. I'm actually going to take the Koh-i-noor Hardmuth Brilliant watercolours with me. A little bit nervous because they are so bright and so full of pigment, but come on and let's go and explore the beautiful Kiltonga Wildlife Reserve in Newtownards in Northern Ireland. Well, I don't know whether you could see I needed to make a pit stop and decided that I would use my points to get myself a double cheeseburger, a little maybe chicken burger thing and a cup of coffee. Oh, gotta love the points. Anyway, straight after this we're going to hot foot it to Kiltonga and the weather's beautiful, so it'll be really good to get there and get the drone up. So I'm going to eat and then you can come with me the next bit, okay? And unfortunately, in my excitement, I was just closing down my little holder and look, it's broken on me, my little selfie stick. Ah well, I'm just going to have to hold it and talk to you today. New one's been ordered, not wildly expensive. Got my McDonald's free, so let's just focus on that and we'll just get over it and get on. I'll see you in Kiltonga. Bye. So here we are. We've arrived at the duck pond, as I know it. You can hear the squawking of the seagulls. So this is a really lovely place, filled in tons and tons of memories for me. So I'm going to send the drone up on a beautiful day. You guys, any chance you might keep it down there? I'm trying to do a video. So, well, I suppose we're in their place, aren't we? Look at that. So come on, let's have a look around. So this is a busy little place and it's got lots of lovely little nooks and crannies. I haven't got my selfie stick to be able to show you it in all its glory, but what I'm really looking to do as I wander around is looking to see something that catches my eye and something that I can just stop and enjoy and paint with these crazy Koh-i-noor Brilliant watercolours. Look at the colour of that. I think that's dogwood that they call it, but it's just that lovely red tone. This would be one of my favourite scenes in our country. These kind of beautiful wastelands with the long grass. Can't tell you why I love it. And then look at this for the pop of colour here. Now this is my kind of thing. A path with a little bend in the road. And just look around at all of the colours and the beauty that there is. And I'm trying to think, okay, where do we stop now? Where do we stop and get started? The other thing that I love is there's lots of sort of bogland where you can see the trees, almost like a swamp kind of area, which is interesting too. On we go. I'm confident that you have your places. You know, the ones where you walked around as a kid or rode your bike or kicked the ball or whatever it was that you did. Visiting those places 40, 30, whatever amount of years later, you're totally hit with all those memories. Remember back there, walking our dog Rob on must have been a Sunday afternoon walk. It's just quite wonderful. All these places that, you know, probably are just places to others, are packed full and are doorways back to memories. I remember one time coming around here early in the morning and the snow was really thick on the ground, and it was to me like Narnia. It was like this winter wonderland, and I can remember the crunch with the snow under my feet. I was playing about with sepia filters, shows you how long ago that was. Incredible, incredible what do you remember, isn't it? So I found my little spot. I've got my chair really just more for something to lean everything on. And then I've got my little setup here. So just a regular drawing board with this nice deep well set here because I want to be able to mix the colours quite loosely. And then just used a twig. It's resting on all these branches and used the twig on the drawing board to be able to have a place to stand and to paint. So excited to see where this goes. Okay, so I'm ready to make a start. So just to remind you, this is the scene and I'm kind of thinking this sort of area here, but we'll see how it will go. And I'm using a acrylic paint marker today, which is really good, and I just want to dive in and not be too precious about it. So we're getting the riverbank, and then this is where this big old tree is around here. Now what I might do is, because this is such a strong paint, the Koh-i-noor is make lots of, oh, this could slide off, I'll put this one over here, is make lots of nice thick marks, you know. So trying to get in some of the details of the trees, and then we want to have a good sweeping bit of water across here, birds flying across and everything. It's wonderful. So really trying to get in just nice little details. Now look at that in the corner over there. Let me see if we can zoom in to show you. Isn't that crazy, that lovely line that's running across just of the reeds? It almost looks kind of man-made. So we can see if we can maybe begin to put some of that in. And it's going off into that little area across there. So we've got a nice expanse of water down to the reeds across there. And then we've got some other, where the river's continuing on back there, the lake or duck pond or whatever it is, continuing on back there. And we want to try our best to, sorry, change my stance so you can actually see what I'm doing. We want to change, so just getting lost in what I'm saying. We want to be able to get in just enough information without going completely nuts. Now it's cold today. I do have my electric hand warmers or rechargeable hand warmers in my pocket, but it is cold, so I'm not going to want to be out here for too long. Okay, so that's all I want to do. So basic just structure of lines. Okay, now I need my brushes, that'll be good. Okay, and we're using dealer Rowney, the Gold Taklon Synthetic. Favorite brushes, I think it was £4 for this pack. I'm going to use this biggest one. Keep this one in my emergency, sorry, I shouldn't say emergency, more travel kit. What do you think? This is the Star Wars water bottle holder. So hopefully the weight of the water is not going to wreck the positioning of everything. Okay, now, so what we want to do initially is, do I want to get some of that blue in of the sky? Probably do. Just get a little snip of it. That electric blue, which is completely nuts. Just some little, and the sky actually is, if you look up, look at the blue of that sky today. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then some of that is actually coming across here as well. Keeping that nice and strong. Well, I mean, there's not really much else you can do here and have it strong. Okay, so then what I want to do is move across to the base. So I'm going to mix from the colours that I have, which I absolutely love to do. And also, this could all be very messy today, and I need to be okay with that. Okay, there we're getting, that's quite nice actually, that one. That brown is really helpful to just bring things down a bit. And I know now that I can, how to mix some of these. That's good. Okay, so we're also going to get this fall, because we're painting at an angle, we're going to get this kind of fall of colours. So let's keep mixing here. These are my two go-tos at the minute. Get a little bit more electric going on here. A little bit warmer. If I get it a little bit warmer, that would be good. Yeah, that's the one to do that. Can't even tell you what the colours are. So when you're in plein air context, a lot of what happens is that it's constantly moving and changing. So part of it is, oh, look at that one. Goodness, do you see that? Just erupted there. Part of it is this kind of selecting what you want to keep, what you want to lose. So let's get in just little marks now. That they're kind of moving in together. So just looking to see some marks across here. And one of the things that's really helpful, I find, for water, is just that kind of gentle movement. It's always going to give you that idea that there's water present. Okay. Oh, jeepers. I can't keep up with these colours. They're actually insane. So we're now moving to practically a black. But we're going to just use this blue, because that blue is really quite dominant across. You can see just this area here. So the blue is tickling its way across. Okay, and also then sweeping down across here. So what I'm going to do with that as well is bring in some flicks. Now some of those flicks went up into the sky, which I'm not dying about, but not the end of the world. Okay, so this area here is really very muted. So let's go get some of the crazy green. I'm going to get some of this quinacridone yellow here. Let's see what this one is. It's just a darker tone. I'm going to take the brown. Use that brown to really, really bring down. Now what's this one? Oh yes, that's a good brown. Really, really bring down these colours. Now, what I can do then is change. So I was using the brush very much this way. Now I want to move it across in all sorts of different directions across here. And really quite thick foliage, and using the brush just to bring it light. Let's take more of that brown, because that brown really is lovely. Look at how the colours just explode in the sunlight. Isn't it glorious? Just taking some of that really nearly this straight brown now. I'll water it down a bit more. Okay, and so this is layer one, but the problem is, because it's a cold day today, you know, is there going to be opportunity for this to dry? And I'd probably suggest there likely isn't. So I'm just going to try my best. See what we can do. Actually, some of this is frozen. Goodness me. If you look over in this area here, didn't even notice that. It's actually, if you can see across there, it's completely frozen. Okay, so let's get some of these. There's that mental colour again. Get a crazy green. Settle it down with the brown. But we still do want some of those greens moving around. Just touching and letting them touch in certain areas. This area over here, it almost has a reddy kind of a tone to it as well. We could dull this right down. It's got really quite electric now. I don't know. Yes, that's good. That's that purpley tone. It's going to move us towards a black, but not totally. We can get that area in there. Now, This is something interesting that's happened and it's just gone away. But if I can remember this, then I'm going to be able to capture it in between here. So then these aren't dry, but what I can do is just bring in some of these gentle washes. There it is again. Over that part there, it's getting this lovely sort of light brown tones across it. Just mixing that in to give this impression of the water. So let's have a look and see as well. This might work quite well. Now it's an abstracted colour. Of course it is, he says, because of where we are and what we're doing today and the media that we're using. But can still give that impression of these kind of just the light tones of the reeds coming across. Okay, hopefully we're beginning to see some of this now drying, which I think we are actually. Now that's nearly taken that to a black. I'm going to bring in some of this green. And then we're going to dull it down again, except we're going to dull it and warm it. So even as we're standing here, I feel like I'm starting to get to know this palette a little bit better. And some of the ways that this is going to work together, and that lovely kind of dry brush feel across. Okay. It's actually a real challenge to work with colours that you normally wouldn't work with, especially because I would use a lot of much more muted tones. Now let me see, is this gonna let, no, it's just falling down. Just drop that in there and it's falling right across. Look, it's quite a nice effect. So what I would say about these Koh-i-noor colours is they certainly are a helpful tool if you're wanting to move into abstracting what you're doing a little bit more, and these are the guys to help you. So I'm just going to take this colour and just mark the river across the way over here. Okay. Now, so we really, now that sunlight there, you just sort of step back and let that sunlight do its work. Okay. So there's some nice movement of the colours here, and actually this bit is nice and dry now. So do you know what I'll do with that? Let me intersperse that with, now we want that blue, but we really want that to dull down as well. So we can get that, yeah, that's what we're looking for. And then in between, because this bit is dry now, we can just in between some of those drier points on top of that layer, give this impression of the water where you get this kind of a rippled effect here. Let me see if I can bring you in a wee bit closer. So the water is having this sort of rippling effect across there. Okay, so I'll step back and just let the sunlight do its thing. So when I'm taking a watercolour class, I'm forever saying you really, at these points, should have your arms folded, because you're really just waiting for it to dry before you move on to the next layer. Now this is pretty cool in the interim while we're letting this dry. Look at these guys. I'll show you how frozen it actually is as they stand on the ice. Over on this side, we have some baby swans enjoying themselves. I think they're swans. Yeah, no, they're definitely swans. I was thinking, oh dear, have I just called geese swans? But no, I have not. So this is the Seawhite of Brighton recycled gum strip. Now it's got this, the aspect is the like the letterbox kind of style, this panel kind of style, which I think all of these things are worth considering. The type of paper you're using, the size of paper you're using, the shape of paper you're using, and also then where you're using it are all going to affect what you're doing and how you do it. So I've noticed that this little section here is dry, so what I can then do is get some of this brown and just use that brown on its, well no, not use it on its own, I'll just take a little bit of black with it here just to bring it down a bit. And we're just going to do that little line. It's just across at that point. Get a little nice little flick on that area. Okay. Now I'm going to take a lighter green, if we can get it, going here. It is a, because I don't know these colours, you're trying to find your feet. There's that black, which is too black really, but it's taking it right to the, it seems to be this process of going round and round and round to find a colour. And then I want to not have it so vibrant. I do want to have it a bit warmer, so I know that this is my warmer here. Okay, and so what I'll do actually is take some of that, take some of this, warm it up in this palette here, and then I can begin to play about with some of these. See this movement with the flat edge brush, I just find really cool that we're able to use a brush to get these effects. I couldn't remember where my colour was there. Just looking to see, is this anywhere else now? Oh, look at the birds. Gotta love it when they all fly together. Okay, so we're going to take some of this brown. Really could be just a pure brown that I'm looking, but I didn't realise that at the time. Okay, just gonna, do you know what, it is a pure brown I'm looking, so let's rinse off that brush. Pleased with my wee setup here. It's really working quite well, and even standing up's nice, and my legs are being warmed by the sun. So let's see. This, yes, that's what I was looking for. That kind of a, just a lighter tone, and then there are actually quite a few trees doing lots of tree things in this area. Okay, so also around this, the freedom with these watercolors is that because the colors are not true, you feel a lot more, I certainly feel a lot more liberty to just play about. When those lines are too harsh, I just want to settle them in. So we are drying actually okay here. Maybe just do this one straight for this little area here. That quinacridone is certainly going to communicate that area. Yeah, we go. Happy with that. It's not true by any stretch, but it is going to give me that sense of the different. And actually they're mixing together just as I add them on. Okay, so we're starting to build a scene. Certainly feels like that. Okay, so I had discovered where the black was. I'm going to take the black. Do not need, like it's a dab, and the thing's insane. Okay, I'm going to add some brown to that, make that much more earthy. And then across this side, which is over here, it's much, much darker. So let's be bold and add that in. Yeah, pleased I did that, it's good. And then in this area here, it's darker too. Now I'm deliberately dropping it in to see how that's going to affect things. I also want to get some darker areas across here, because if you look straight across, just underneath there, use this brush down here, you've got some of the darkest areas just right across there. Okay, now I don't want to keep you here forever, so I'm thinking that we might actually probably stop somewhere soon. Now, where else have we got? So that lovely brown, oh, that brown's gorgeous. The way it, now what I could do is, this might work quite well. So brown with a little bit of my warmer, the quinacridone. Warm it up even more. Just give, yeah, that's actually quite nice, because that's what's happening. The warmth of that. Going across and down. Now we'll take in some of that green. Okay, and this across here we've got, oh, this is lovely because now we've got this layering. So obviously if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I really enjoy taking things into layers. And because this is quite dry now on this side, it's just going to let me do that. Right, the other thing I want to do is to get some of this, whoa, look at that explosion of the purple. Let's take some of that brown in with the purple, and just on the edge of this one, it just knows purple is so wonderful for shadows. And also in this guy here, okay, now are we anyway dry across this area here? I should let the sunlight just dry it. Can maybe get in just a little bit of that lovely purpley tone at the base of those reeds. Is it dry? Don't know. Hard to tell. No, it's definitely not. But let's see. We can just release those at the base of the reeds there. And we've got a cross on this side. Do you know what I will do actually? Just give that kind of, that purple's lovely. Seems to be as well when you calm these colours down somewhat. For me, they're quite a bit more palatable. So just going to touch this area, mixing these two together, touching this area across on this side. Now, what I don't want is, because we're using a flat edge brush, is you know, to make it all sort of jarred and angular. I really want to quite avoid that now. Doesn't need just a little touch of more blue across this point here. I think it maybe does. So let's just give it that. Just to bring that down ever so slightly. Good, and I wanted to splat that across. Okay. So there we are. You can see it's very much an abstract interpretation, but it's actually really quite lovely just to let the colours flow in together. Right. Now, wasn't that a lot of fun? That was a pretty cool experience. Being slightly cold, being surrounded by nature in a place that's so familiar to me, and I'm really quite pleased with the outcome as well. For the colour, I missed my selfie stick. RIP the selfie stick. Anyway, a new one's coming. And did I mention that new one's coming? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me at Kiltonga Nature Reservoir, I think it's called, in Newtownards. As always, head to my website, www.woodwardswatercolours.co.uk. You'll find out lots of information. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon, and you'll be notified of new videos. But it's been good having you along. See you in the next episode. Nearly too eager with a hand. Bye for now.